Hello everyone, we're back playing Torrents of the Spellhoarder on Elderbrain's channel with April, Joe, John and Tommy, whom I would like to ask to please introduce their characters, and let's go diving.
All right, hello, I'm April. I am playing Mayra Deepscar of the Azure Abyss. She is a Triton, Paladin, Oath of the Open Sea.
Spooky.
The open sea. It's like imagination. Wasn't that like from SpongeBob? They would do the thing. Hi, everybody. My name is Joe. I'll be playing Rax, the Worm Slayer Ranger.
And I'm John. I'll be playing Ko, the Echo Knight, who's wondering if two swords would be better than one and make him look cooler, but he's not for sure.
Definitely.
Is that Balder? I hear it's Balder. I hear
I'm
him.
so sorry. It is. Yeah, it says hi. Also,
Yes,
it's
Balder,
hard.
he'll be playing.
I think
It's hard
John,
to make
this
Ko
is
look cooler.
it is not a hard decision with the shield being such a highly magical one.
Right. That AC bonus is just so nice.
And initiative and all that. Tommy?
Hey everyone, Tommy here. I'll be
Balder?
playing Ferromalars, the young bronze dragon.
I'm sorry, Tommy. The dog just stole the show.
The dog will be playing Ferromalars.
He
No,
hasn't
yeah.
seen me in a few days, so he really.
It's the Ranger's familiar. That's what it is. He or she,
Spin's
I'm not sure.
replacement.
Alrighty now. Well, we're not at the city of Orange yet, as the
Nope.
image for our kind viewers would suggest, but we are at Star Haven. Actually, why don't I change the screen, right? And Star Haven is where all the knights. Oh, what am I doing? All the knights of. Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. All the knights of Arvanshi stay and hide on the seabed in this gigantic starfish, which is alive and moving, crawling on the seabed, burrowing itself into the debris and dust and sand of the seabed. It is controlled by this half-orc ranger, Kigo Monfok, and you are surrounded in this airtight, enclosed, very strange room, which totally looks like a room from a normal tavern. But you all know you're inside a structure built on top of a starfish. Everything smells of sea, and it's just very different from it's all moisture everywhere and dampness and everything. And it's quite crowded because all of you are seated around this quite small table. At the head of the table, at the end of the table, on one end of the table stands, and you're all leaning over a map of the city of Arvanshi, stands Dorantil Balantal, the first trident of the Knights of Arvanshi, leader of the Knights, and there are many of these knights standing in the second and third rows, actually, watching over the shoulder of each other and trying to figure out all together what the plan is to invade and liberate the city of Arvanshi. Now you are in the middle of this heated conversation, which comes quite quick and quite unexpectedly for you. You know, you're talking about changing history. You know, 1 second you've been just having a meal with these deep sea elves, then they took you to the tomb of Arvanshi, where you found something of great importance. Well, there were many things of great importance. So let's summarize some of these up a bit. And I will get back to this, of course. But this chain of events just kind of accumulated into the heated conversation you're sitting in now, where all of these deep sea elves, of course, in their quite reserved elvish style, but still very, very pumped up about the whole thing, you know, where they are eager to go right now, if you would say, you know. So they are really preparing for this, and the events that took place before and the discoveries you made make them sure that this is a trigger point. This is from here it's only invasion, and they see, of course, they rely on Mera's connection and Mera's involvement. I'm sorry, that's the right word, involvement with the whole matter, and that you guys are also following her, and of course there are voices of concern, and they understand, but they are very enthusiastic about the whole situation. So what happened at the tomb of Arvenshi was they took you to the tomb of Arvenshi, where Arvenshi, the legendary leader of the Deep Sea Elves, the great cleric, great priest, and the great archmage, lies. His body, which has been destroyed by a spell, his phylactery has been destroyed earlier, as the story told you, and as the first trident in the Deep Sea Elves translated his story. His body lies in this tomb. The first thing you find is that there are orbs of magic involved somehow. These orbs are decorated on the first entry panel of this, or first entry room or area. It's all one big room. I'm going to show you the image again of this tomb. But it turns out that there are these orbs, each of them with a name: orb of enchantment, orb of divination, orb of necromancy, listing all 8 of the schools of magic. They all converge into this with their own colors, each color representing a different school. They converge into...
And the spell for each school.
Oh, and the spell, yes, a spell for each school listed for some reason under them. Some of which you either on your spells, so you are familiar, you can cast it even maybe, but very low level spells. But you can also, you know, see magic missile and stuff like that for evocation, which are obviously known by everyone. Yeah, there are some others you might not know, but all schools have one spell listed under them, and their colors all come together in this spiral of colorful lines, which is actually the holy symbol of the Wonder Maker, the god of magic. And in the middle, where they meet, there's a text written about the fact that if you attune yourself to all of the orbs, you become able to cast spells without limit, unlimited power, unlimited, boundless. You can cast your spells without any limits, basically. So as you move in further inside, you see a lot of spells written. Basically, most of the spells you know are there. It's either clerical or arcane, or divine or arcane spells inscribed on the seashell from ceiling to bottom. And in the last room, you find the body of Arvenshi without a head, which is very important. This blackened, desiccated skeleton lies without a head in a white robe, which is immaculate. There is no tearing on it or no sign of age on it, and also it seems to be unaffected by all the water that it is, you know, soaking in that it has been soaking in for hundreds of years even, and also the personal belongings of Arvenshi are scattered around. You know, there's been a tomb robber here, and took half of the share relic that you already own and took back here. But his staff, which is a glowing, beautiful magical staff, is thrown in at the very end, and the share relic, the other half of the share relic, is just lying again somewhere on the side. When you touch these items, there is a certain whisper and an obvious presence of something in here, but you place all of them back. Like Ko places the stuff back, and then Mera places puts the two shells together and then places it back. What's important is that what's an extra information here, besides all the stuff I just told you, and very important is that on the shell, there's you find the other half of the shell, and you can finish the sentence. The first part said, "The orb of my ascension lies at," and then the other part says, "The tower of the Kalehai." And I'm saying it in my beautiful Bela Lugosi accent because it's very different from the current Kalhei word. It's written differently a bit. You don't know what the Kalehai is and who the Kalehai are, because it's their tower where the orb of Orvanshi's ascension lies. But you realize that this information must be quite important because Morgar was seeking it, and the sated Contessa was attacked by Morgar because of probably this information. Well, actually not probably, because Morgar even said that I know now what I wanted to learn, which is the first part of the Sheriff, and then it just disappeared into the sea. So, armed with all of this information, you're in this room now, and you can see on these deep sea. So if you zoom out a bit from the situation, you see that these deep sea elves, for decades, have been looking for, probably waiting for this moment, waiting for some sort of sign or information, and they lay out the plans. They lay out their own plans that they've been formulating for years, how to defeat Morgar and how to liberate the city. And one very important thing before I give you word is that they had no idea, for example, how to lure Morgar away, and now they are very, very keen on the idea of knowing from you that Morgar is seeking this certain orb of ascension, and that's a kind of a good lure for them, they think. And also, just a final, to put the puzzle pieces together, a final thing is that, final thought on this is that they tell you that they have this very, very ancient story about Orvanshi somehow achieving some sort of an extremely powerful, actually they even know that necromantic power that he first used to defeat the Dark Stars, and then second later, 1,000 years later, now when he became a lich. So before he was a lich, he used this power, and then after becoming a lich, he used it again to try to defeat Morgar, and of course the armies of Morgar. Here we are. What do you guys do? So the Marrow Caves, says the first trident. That's very important. The Marrow Whites in the cave. They must be sealed.
Yes, it seems you have a partial plan quite thought out. The partial is what concerns me. We need aid. We need to talk, figure out a few things. Ko internally is curious. Attuning to 8 orbs seems extraordinary. Is that extraordinary?
You can roll an Arcana check on this one, sir.
He would like to do that. 18, and I'm assuming no bonus. No. Yep, no bonus. So 18 on the die.
Okay, so that's quite good for a fighter.
My sister told me all the stories.
Yeah, your sister is an expert in arcane lore. She told you that attuning to 3 items is the maximum one can take because of the blah blah blah. And that part you didn't understand, right? The 3 is what you get. Now here we are with an archmage, with the knowledge of an archmage, saying that you can attune to 8 for some reason. Maybe to these items you can attune to, maybe you know.
So there's more story there.
This is definitely. Let's not forget the whole concept about, you know, this is all concerning the god of magic, the Oathbreaker, right? So you don't know.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, I can tell you that I don't give a goblin's left foot about magic or bits and bobs or any of that. All I know is there's a dragon turtle that we've got to kill. That's the first thing. Number two, we've got to lure this Morgar out of his hiding. I don't know how to do that. Number three, then we got all this other stuff with Merrow Caves and all this. But the first thing is that dragon turtle, and the second is the beast itself. Has to be lured away so that we can even do all this.
We
My
must
opinion.
lure the Kraken away first, and then
Right.
deal with its lapdog.
Right. Oh, lure it away first, then kill the dragon turtle.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't even say lapdog because they have respect for Gulan Traxio, which was the protector of their city. They speak.
Right.
sorry, they
We're gonna
speak sadly.
outright slay and destroy the dragon turtle, and banish it to the great abyss, whatever we have to do, because it's evil and it's bad. It's got to go.
It's a zombie.
And right, yeah. Oh, it's already gone. But listen, I do have an idea for luring away the great evil. We can do it one of two ways. I can swim a distance away and start shouting its name, but probably not going to work.
They're shaking
but
their
what-
head slightly.
But I do think what might work is we plant information somewhere that is of the most interest to him, that might lure him away personally to go check on it. False information about maybe where one of these orbs might be, right? Or some new information, or a second tomb, something like that. Because the truth is, your tomb has already been raided by him or his people, or maybe even one of you. Somebody
look at
got
each
in
other.
that knows how to get in, and somebody took his head.
Well, but you unlocked it so well, Rax.
What's that?
You unlocked it so well. I bet there's a few other people that could.
Well, listen, I do have a special set of skills that not everyone has.
Yeah.
But my point is, unless you've got, you run tours of that place, then it's got to be one of you that got in, or one of your people,
It
or
wasn't
maybe,
us, or one
or
of
maybe
us.
one of your people that's working for him now as a mind zombie living down there in a place.
If that's the case, maybe they already know the information you recovered and you haven't told us yet.
Oh, maybe they already do know the information. You know everything we do. I'm just saying. We need to figure out what's most interesting to Morgar, and then possibly plant that information somewhere. He would want to check on it himself.
Who will deliver this message?
Yes, who will do and
Who
what's
volunteers for this task that's almost suicide?
so,
maybe we should
immediately
find a way
five of the deep sea elves stand up.
No,
I will do this
stop
for
it.
my people. No, it
Stop
will be
it.
I.
Stop it.
Whoa.
No, maybe we need to somehow get the information to someone on his side, so that they go, "Oh, I'm going to win some favor, and I'll share this information with my lord," or whatever they call him.
The traitor.
Yes.
They look at each other. The traitor is a weak individual. The master of
Yes.
zombies.
You
Well,
got
it's just
some
my
spell
fault.
slaves.
But the spell slaves, do they work for him? No, they work for the dragons, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. They work for the dragon. Sorry, I was confusing my evils.
But they might be willing to do it.
That seems like a later plan, though. We need a fleet of ships to distract Morgar, to get him up, and maybe entertain him as we start other things. We need a.
Oh, but then we'd be sending people to their death.
We're gonna be sending people to their deaths for this.
It's true.
They're-
But if we
they're-
can
again, they're-
lure him to a
they look-
place where there's no people and it's just him, well, then he's gonna be quite mad. And if he's a wizard, he could just teleport back, right? He's not swimming.
It cannot teleport back if we use the phase breaker ward.
Wait, use the what now?
The phase breaker ward. I told you about this ancient.
Oh, that's the bubble.
The bubble, yes.
Bubble,
Right, the bubble. Magic bubble.
Leave it with you like that. This ancient magical device was created by Arvenshi to keep unwanted visitors out of the city, and we have one big advantage, and that is that this is in a hidden cave under the city, which Morgar and its minions have never found. So this is our advantage in this situation.
I do remember a time we was tracking a dragon, and it was down deep in the earth. I woke up in the middle of the night, and our wizard was gone, and he had wandered into the cave. Subsequently completely eaten by the dragon. But what happened was, he was lured in his dreams. Folks heard him talking in his sleep, and he was chasing what he thought was information and got eaten by the dragon, but it turned out the dragon got inside his head while he was sleeping. Maybe there's a way we can get inside Morgar's dreams, huh? And plant some information that way. Nobody's got to get hurt, and he'll go check it out.
We would need a wizard, a powerful wizard or a cleric to achieve this.
Right. So you said you have someone in the city.
Yes, my half brother, says the first writer. Kirian is.
So whatever information we're going to use, assuming that's the route we take to lure Morgar away, can it be passed to him, and he can pass it either directly to Morgar or someone else? Okay,
Yes.
so that's our route in. Regarding a lure,
There is a secret entrance to the city, by the way, so we can get into the city, and we can get in touch with Kirian, or we can, you can enter the city in a secret
right?
way.
There's the right.
Okay.
You told us about that there's a tunnel with a secret access. So my thought is, if we're going to lure Morgar away, there needs to be a period of time that he will indeed be distracted. And we have several foes that we know are out there causing harm. So my thought is, why not point Morgar and the lure of the location of this missing piece of information he's so keen for toward one of those foes? Either the Syndicate of the Mind Masters, the Sahuagin, or someone on Xanthros itself.
Everybody's nodding. Yes, that's okay.
That way, he has a fleet, an army, that he has to contend against, that would engage him while we enter the city.
We heard about the Sahuagin and their rising armies to the east by the shores of the Isles of Santaros. We heard they are different. We heard they are tainted with dark magic. But we are not really familiar with either their location or their motivations. But on the other hand, the Syndicate of the Mind Masters we know quite well. They are their lairs very close here in the Silent Pearls. This region we call the Silent Pearls. This is all I wanted to add.
So my thought is, the further he goes away, and the Sahuagin have been harvesting a host that obviously needs to be dispersed. My thought is to put them against there. And perhaps also there is a way using the spell slaves to feed information to the mind masters that would then perhaps also lend them to a three-way confrontation with
Who
the
are
Mind
these-
Masters,
who are these
the
slaves?
Organ, and the Morgar.
I follow you, but I am not aware who these spell slaves, you call them, are.
Our captives up on the ship.
How are they related to the Aboleths?
They wish to serve them.
Okay, well, them wishing to serve them.
They're beyond reproach. Redemption.
Well, do they know these Aboleths? Are they connected to these Aboleths?
It's our understanding that they are. They know where they are.
Are they serving them already?
From what we understand, they've been altered, or at least been promised by that. We can confirm. As I said, I think turning Morgar to the Sahuagin is the first, but perhaps if there is a way to also cause trouble with the Mind Masters and have the Mind Masters also turn toward distracting Morgar.
We don't know where the
I would-
Sahuagin are.
I would be happy to have, to see
But-
both of these forces, fail and be destroyed by Morgar.
I think all we would have to do is give some kind of information to the spell slaves that, much as we're planning on feeding to Morgar, there is something of great power here, and point them to the islands that the Sahuagin are mustering at. The spell slaves will then bring that back to the Mind Masters, and they will take action from there. Or not.
Morgar is seeking this information you have found. I am not going to push for knowing what it was, as you seem not going to tell me.
Well, I think the intent is to... Morgar knows that the first part of the shell speaks to the orb of the ascension. The second part speaks to the location. He does not have the location. So the intent is that we feed the information that the location is where, at these islands where the Sahuagin are mustering. That sends Morgar there. We could also send the same information with the spell slaves to the Syndicate of the Mind Masters. And they also would perhaps send a delegate to these islands where the Sahuagin are mustering. So I think a three-way conflict.
Well, we're not sure if the
Or we
Aboleths
don't go with the path of the Mind Masters. It was just...
we are not sure if the Aboleths are seeking this information or not.
Well, they're not seeking it yet, but once we feed
They
it to them,
are.
I'm sure they won't turn away from it.
What they're doing is they are laying dormant and recording infernal knowledge in their infinite library. That's all we know, but we never wanted to expose ourselves by confronting them. But on the other hand, if Morgar is fed the information through my half-brother, this is the first round, he might move on. He might leave and try to recover this. Now we need to find out how best we could feed this information through my half-brother, and also where to send Morgar.
Well, didn't you say you just gave us the name of the islands where the Sahuagin are mustering?
No, we don't know that.
We don't know. The Isle of Sontaras is a huge island.
Oh, you said Santaros. I thought you named somewhere
No.
specific.
They don't know where. All they know is that by the shores, and the shores of Santaros are, like 3 weeks of a round trip by ship, so even more, maybe.
Oh, okay. I misheard.
It's a huge area, and they don't know. But maybe you
Well,
can find out somehow.
Well, we have a contact with, let me go, Lord Rinavaram of Clan Shadowwind. So perhaps he knows. He was the one who engaged us regarding the Sahuagin conflict. So perhaps he has more intelligence about where they now are.
I don't know the Santarosian nobles. What if you have this information?
Except for one.
Oh yeah, except for one, which we already told you, the Lord Carnelis, who is our contact on the island. Also a half brother of ours. If you can find out where the Sahugin are, you could send Morgard there, maybe.
But I like the idea of Morgar wiping out these Eboleth scum.
I do like that idea.
Both, says one of the DPCs. Can't you figure out a way to deal with both of them?
Well,
Oh yeah.
So I take it the Aboleths don't venture from wherever their lair is.
No,
They just send their minions.
No, not even that. Oops. I smell a cut there. Where's Joe? Did I disappear? Did you all disappear? What happens?
You just
Oh,
I need to put Joe back in Joe's slot. Bing bong, I'm back. No, I don't see Joe on the screen. That's not good.
yeah.
I see
You
Joe
expecting
here. I
that?
see Joe there. I see Joe there. I'm putting Joe back.
Oh yeah, he's like double proficient in it.
Yes.
We're back. There's been a cut. So, yeah, where were we?
I think we were back to trying to figure out if there was a way to have a convergence and subsequent destruction of both the Aboleths
Yes.
and the Sahuagin, and Morgar caught up in that. And it looks like we just lost John.
Yeah. I don't know.
And he's back.
Yay!
Why is this-
Roulette.
Oh, the echo. What is happening? John is just dropping off.
I didn't do anything. That's my
I know it's not your
2 cents, and I'm keeping it.
I have no idea what's
Yeah,
happening.
it was giving me fits a couple of weeks ago, so it likes to turn the spotlight.
Oh,
So yeah, what's the plan?
All right. So no one knows where the Sahuagin are. In order to do that, our best chance is to reach out to our contact on the island of Xanthros, the
Lord Rinavaram Shatterwind.
land in Shatterwind. So we either have a way of communicating with him from here, or we will need to travel to him to gather intelligence.
Well, we don't have a way of contacting him, says the first trident.
Why don't we
How
have
do you
a
know? How do you know this? What's your
wizard?
relation? What's your relation with this Lord of Santaros?
As I said, we received a letter of invitation from
Oh,
him.
you
He has
said that.
concerns about the Sahuagin, so he had contacted us since we have dealt with them in the past.
So maybe they could lend assistance to our cause, even.
yes.
These Santarosians are.
I will say, hold on. Once you start involving all these outside forces, it's going to muddy the water quite a bit. The fewer controlling people involved, it's much better for everyone. Especially when you're dealing with, no offense, looking over at Lars. Certain dragon types are difficult. and you start involving those who would oppress and rule and want power for themselves in a scheme that involves someone who's already doing all this stuff to get as much power as they can, I believe, to become a god. It just, the conflict, it's too much, and what happens is we're caught in the middle, and you don't want either side to win, and now you're fighting a war on two fronts.
There's wisdom in your words, and
Well, I thank you very much for the kindness.
he bows.
But I also think to the point that some smaller group with a very special set of skills and of sufficient might. And so perhaps, Lord Renovaram, there are individuals, because we also have to be aware that whoever we involve in this, the battle will be taking place thousands of feet under the sea, which involves either people capable themselves naturally of traveling that depth and being able to breathe and fight underwater, or magics that will enable them to do so. We are not going to be taking back Arvanshi with a large force unless we are allying with other denizens of the sea, which I do not see that as being our option. The powers under the sea, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Gibor, are few and far between.
He sighs and says, "We have always been alone in our fight. If we have not been so, we might have already taken our city back. There are some more significant forces who we know can carry out such an underwater attack, or just move freely within our blessed environment, in our home. But some of these you really don't want to be associated with.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
There is a certain group called the Dread Stingers. They are lycanthropes. They are pirates of the worst kind, cursed by lycanthropy that changes them into stingrays. We know we have encountered them before, but these are marauding pirates. I could even say the Syndicate of the Mine Masters, But these vile and evil forces are not the ones we are looking for here.
Maybe they're just looking for coin like all pirates.
There
Well,
is
they-
one from the ancient legends. Well, actually, one of the the Hall Fork. No, actually, it should be. The Hall Fork says. Kigamonfog says, First Trident. There is one who could help us, but we don't know where he is. Remember the ancient Sir Muzdirjan?
She is.
Yeah. Remember the ancient bronze dragon that went slumbering somewhere? Yes, Kiko, but we don't know where the ancient bronze...
You already said you don't know where my grandmother lairs.
Oh, all of the heads turn to you. Is Mirjan Durjian your grandmother? Oh, what an honor. What an honor to have you in our company. Your ancient grandmother is a legend in these seas. But, as I said, and as you probably also know, she went into hiding to slumber. Now there are some others. We will think of possible options.
Do the Santarosians ever venture into the depths?
No, but their magic is strong. We know they are capable of, using magic. Many of them, there are spellcasters amongst them, but their ways and their greediness and their lack of empathy is probably what will stop this, or make such an effort fail. Although, if they are, if you do them a favor, or if they ask you to come over to assist them against the Sahuagin, that might be a good starting point.
I do think you should. Go ahead.
Joe. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mayra. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, this was actually.
I apologize from the deepest part of my soul.
This is April asking a question, because I'm sitting here trying to flip through my notes really quickly.
Sure.
There is a clan on Xanthros that is against slavery. Was that the Shatterwinds, or is it another clan?
It's another
Okay.
clan.
Okay.
It's the Yestria clan.
The Estria. I'm like, I know I have it in my
Clan
notes here
Yestria.
somewhere.
Yes, there is a clan called Clan Yastriel. They are in the Gullet, this region. The puzzle piece you have has this
Yes.
hole with the Gullet written around it, and that's how you learn that they are against slavery, or they're a bit of an outstanding, from the general Santarosian noble ways and attitude. Also, there is one other which is an ally to these deep sea elves, Lord Carnalis, who is what's the full name, Tony? Can you help me, please? Who is Atrin? Yeah, I think Lord Carnalis, Atrin, Lord Atrin Carnalis. The clan is called Carnalis, and the lord is called Atrin. And he's a contact. He's actually a deep sea elf half dragon, which the first trident describes, and one of the deep sea elf families turned into half dragons through the gift, he says, that lingers from the essence of Santaros, the primordial fate dragon, that was, from whose body the islands formed, and Lord Cornelius is a very good ally of ours, so you can trust him. If you ever meet him, or if you go to him, he will be, if you mention my name, he will be a good ally to you. We don't know about Lord Shatterwind or even the other clans. We have heard names, but we're not concerned with the ways of the air breathers up there.
Right. So, do we know anything else about Clan
The
Yestrel?
Landwalkers.
I mean, other than the fact that they're opposed to slavery, but just because they're opposed to slavery, they could be working with the Aboleths.
Yeah, we don't know much about them. They're fishing, a clan that is involved in much fishing, that we saw many of their ships with their flag, which is a ship and the net and the dolphin in it. On silver. So we're not sure about them. We don't know more than that.
Okay. All right, so it sounds like if our main purpose is to discover the location of the Sahuagin, then Lord Shatterwind
Rinavaram Shatterwind.
or Lord Cornelius is our best source of information.
For sure, yeah.
All right, and then the next question is, Rax,
Also,
do you not...
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
There is a council called the Scale Council, which is the
We're familiar.
ancient 6 houses, the 6 clans that rule the island. I must add that Lord Otrin Cornelis nor his clan is not an ancient house. They are not in the council, though Lord Shatterwind is in the council, as you know.
Right. Well, it seems like it would be in Lord Shadowwind's interest to help us. He doesn't need to, if he's not going to, doesn't necessarily need to know the details of the cause. We're looking for information, and if we tell him that we need some additional support, then I'm sure we can negotiate through to that. as he has been the one most interested in the movements of the Sahuagin. One of the things that he expressed of why he was engaging us is because the other clans are not concerned. Apparently they're too busy with their infighting and securing their own bases of power. So this is not something they want to be distracted by. But he is concerned and focused on. So
That's
I
typical
would
Santarosian.
I would imagine he has not sat idle and has done what he can to, as I said, gather information on the Sahuagins' movements and what they're up to. So, where I was going to ask is Rax. I know you have some magics available to you. You don't have a way to communicate across any distance, even to other planes of existence.
I do imagine I can drum something up. Depends on what you've got in mind.
Never leave anything open to. You know what? I've got this big tube.
He will try to find a way.
Right.
I do have a way to communicate with people across tremendous distance, if needed. I just need to look through all the, think about it. Do some musing over it. Depends on what exactly you need me to do.
Do you have an ability to communicate across large distances, a large enough distance that as long as you are familiar with a creature?
I see you're already asking me exactly what you meant to ask me.
Yeah. Do you have the sending spell?
Well, it just so turns out I do have something that might be useful.
No, not might be. Let's go for is.
Yeah. Can I do the sending? I don't quite know. Let me check my book real quick.
Be familiar, no?
I do have a way to send. I can send messages and stuff. It just depends on what the nature of what it is I'm sending. Am I sending something to somebody's mind, or am I sending, like Sir Pigisman to deliver something? I mean, I've got ways.
Sir Pigisman.
Although I would not involve Sir Pigisman unless we absolutely have
believe
to.
me, I can summon someone from the divine.
Yeah.
I can summon a celestial, but I would prefer not to have a celestial be our messenger.
Right.
And use them as an errand boy.
You get it. Yeah, so I can do, I can send some stuff. Yeah.
We're
I can do
talking
that.
hundreds of miles. Unknown location.
Well,
Unknown
let's
location,
see.
Unknown target.
Unknown person. Unknown target.
Yeah. No, I can, I can, especially if I've been there, which if I have, then I can definitely send someone.
So, our intention, Rax, is, or at least mine, is if there is a way to contact Shadowwind regarding this information without having to spend weeks and travel there and back. However, if it is better served to us to just journey back to Xantharos and meet with Shadowwind in person, then we can do that as well.
Let's not be honest. That's probably the best bet. Or I can get an animal friend of mine to do it, but only for about, a day. So it can't be too far away, and I don't have a way to reach people through magical means, of course, tremendous distances, unless, of course, I've been there. Or we ask, one of them fae folk to do it, which unreliable. Reliable, but we might upset them quite a bit.
All right.
And but I do want to bring something up that's not been discussed. If we're talking about the Centarosians being involved, is that still on the table?
I think a very limited involvement.
Right.
As I said, we already... Shadowwind is interested in removing the Sahuagin threat. This seems like a viable alternative to certainly disrupted enough that it will disorganize them or potentially completely eradicate by introducing Morgar as a combatant. So Shadowwind would want to help with that. I don't think we necessarily have to tell him the details of what we're doing and how. We just need to ask for the resources that we need, which is information and potentially several of his, if he has some members of his house that could assist us in the Ardvinshi attack.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Looking around at like Ko and Lars and just kind of the whole group, the boat that we're traveling on is a Santarosian boat, and the fella that was in the cave trying to attune to the sphere was one of them Santarosians.
Yes, Lord.
That they already know something about these spheres, already have some knowledge about it, to the point where they sent one of their own with a whole mess of slaves to go attune to this thing. So I don't know how trustworthy all them are.
The Aboleth sent him, not the Santarosians.
Correct.
Oh,
Right.
So the Aboleth's got a hold of him.
Right.
Right.
And they're not associated with the Shadowwind clan. They're a different clan.
They're the
Ah, right.
Physmos.
But he was a noble. You're right in that. A lord
So-
of the island.
It's quite possible that other lords of the island are in league with the Aboleths. Something to keep in mind. Trust no one is what I'm saying.
Well, I don't think we're in the business of trying to trust someone, but we do have to have a course of action that involves us moving forward.
Right.
So we can't proceed with anything that has to do with retaking Ardvinshi without first getting Morgar away. Our best plan for luring Morgar away is with the information that he seeks. Are we all in agreement on that?
Or just the lure of the information he seeks.
Correct.
Yeah,
The lure of
everybody's nodding.
information.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, we don't plan on actually giving him the correct location.
No.
That's why we are going to give the location of, hey, if you need the information and the next step in your plan, and point him to the Sahuagin.
Excuse me. Let me
Lars,
interrupt. One sec.
Lars,
Oh, Lars is still wanting to point him to the Avalith, eh?
no, just mumbling that, that's why we should have destroyed the shower. on the place,
I just would like
Just
to ask you,
nodding at him.
Did this information has this information been revealed to the Deep Sea Owls that there's a location? You're talking about the location, but where the orb of my ascension lies at the Tower of the Kyle Hay.
the second
Kyle
part,
High?
no.
No,
The,
okay.
the first part, yes. The second part, no.
Okay.
This also gives us an opportunity to chase down some of the random threads we have of maybe that sigil that you have a little bit of, and maybe some other powerful items that could help us in that regard. I see that we were going to the island early to begin with, and that's why I haven't added much to it. That seems where resources and allies for the same cause might be found.
Yeah. It looks like heading to the island might be the way we go.
But before we go, I want to fight somebody.
While we're talking, I think Rax has been making his way slowly over to the back wall. And is it rough and scratchy inside on the wall?
Yeah,
Like-
because it's
like-
made out of these, these.
Are you about to go scratch your back?
He's gonna scratch his back. Just kind of as we're
It's made out of
talking.
shells and,
Yes. I think
See,
he's
you hear
acting
that? I gotta go real world.
amazing. I don't have mine with me. I think he's looking like he's just kind of shifting his weight and thinking, but what he's doing is going. He's just trying to scratch his back as subtly as possible while we're talking.
All right, so the first trident stands in the serious face. Everybody, all of his men silence themselves because they are discussing this and that and ideas and all that. What location is she talking about? All these kind of things. And then Dorian Theobalenta, First Trident, stands and says, we have been formulating our plans for over 50 years now. The oppression will come to an end very soon, and Morgar will be slain, and I will be there to plunge my riding trident into its body. And we can't wait for the moment to come. Yes, yes, says everybody, all of his men. And he says, I ask you to be, even though we've been waiting for so long, I ask you to be swift about your business.
Yeah,
The
we have
route
no.
there to Santoros is a couple of days, not too much. And as soon as you can, please return to us with the information so we can maybe even make this plan better and go into detail, the very details, especially concerning my brother, who I fear for, who I don't want to sacrifice in this endeavor. Even though we will all sacrifice our lives, but this is relaying an information. How to do it without exposing him more than needed, if you understand.
So if I could ask you first Trident, because obviously our intent is to ensure that the reign of Morgar ends as quickly as possible and the freedom of your people is secured as soon as possible.
Yes.
Who is your strategist? Perhaps they could travel with us on the ship to Xanthros and we can continue to refine the plans that we've already discussed. If you could send that one individual with us, I understand you can't spare, I would imagine, too many of your men, but whomever your primary strategist and most familiar with the
So Aishlin steps forward and says, Master, I would like to join them. I owe them by my life, and I would like to serve them the best way I can with my advice and my lance if needed. So the First Trident looks at him and looks at you and says, look, we are creatures of the sea, just like you. Aishlin, without his trident, without his seahorse, is not much of a help except for, a strong arm and some fighting skills that he can provide with his sword or whatever he wields there. If you insist, and if you would like to go, and looks at the young Deep Sea Elf, he nods. Yes, I would love to. Then he can join you.
As I said, our primary concern with him is not his fighting skills, but that he has knowledge of Arvanshi and your plans that you've already discussed in the details there, so we can continue to formulate and refine on our trip on our way to Xanthros. We will conduct our business there to get the information, come back to you, and then at that point we will hopefully have a plan that is fully formulated for being able to get the information to Morgar, and then the other steps of liberating Arvanshi.
I understand. Aishlin, get ready.
Ashley can bring his horse if he wants.
Well, you will be on land, so this is not really much of an option, but Aishlin, get ready, pack your stuff, leave your trident behind, and we are riding trident, and be ready in 10 minutes. He nods.
Look over it. Go ahead.
Oh, he just nods and goes away. Yeah, go ahead.
Look over at Ko. So go to Santoros. Put a plan together. Get allies. Lure away Morgar, and then we're gonna save Arvanshi. We've got to the people that are trapped, and then we've got to find Lars's grandmother, and then we're going to destroy the aboleths. Do I have it all right?
I don't know if it's going to be in that order, but I think you've got most of the highlights. Yeah.
Good.
Sorry, Rax. I would refine it more, but like I said, we're going to the island, and then we'll either get things added to the plan or change the plan and go from there.
Thank goodness. I can't wait to get in the city. This is going to be great.
It's going to feel very different after all this time in the sea and
It's
under the
gonna
sea.
be very different.
They got bathhouses. We can kick back, put our feet up, drink fine wine. It's going to be great. Do
course, that
work,
piece-
do real work, you know, that we're there to do, but also, you know, a bit of R&R. It's not bad.
We had a good face the other just today. Is that just that was today?
Hasn't this all been today?
Yeah. It's been a busy day.
Yeah.
We've got to make sure the boat's still there.
All right.
Yeah.
So you prepare to leave and all that. Okay. So as you're Aishlin, I hope that's his name. Aishlin comes back with a little sack and some more equipment on himself, wearing his armor. I'm not pretty sure about Tom. If you could please help me with the other weapons he has, except for the jousting trident. I'm ready, he says, and you all head out. Before you leave, you see Mara that the first trident wants to speak to you. Just nods, just raises a hand, because as all the rest leaves, he just tries to hold you back for a word,
All right. I think Mayra, seeing that, would immediately grab Ko and Rax and hang back.
So all of you others just go through this door and into the main dining mess hall of the knights, and then go into the stables and through the main gate outside. And while they move through these areas, he says to you that the following. He stops you and says, "Look, with all due respect for the secrets and the oath that you've made to keep them, what you have found in the tomb of our legendary master might be of great importance to us. I would kindly ask you to relay this information to me before you leave, for this might be very important for our mission and for the survival of my people."
And you will keep this to yourself.
I swear to the
Nice.
souls that we are going to save, and to my own. And on my own, too? On my own.
So I think the only thing that we haven't told him is the location.
Is the second part of the sentence, actually.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know most of the details of what we discovered. The only thing you don't know is what the relic says. It gave us the location, the Tower of Kaluhai. Do my best to mimic the pronunciation.
He pronounces it differently and says, "The Kaelhai, or ancient people, lived under the sea way long before Arvansh even. But the lands before the Dark Angels were ruled, actually one piece of land, but the overground, everything not in the sea, was ruled by a clan of Drow called the Kaelhai. These Drow were the wildest, evilest creatures that you could imagine. They were lazy, and they bound devils to their will to serve them. They were powerful, immensely powerful magic users, even matching the powers of our most talented arcane spellcasters, even Arvansh. But this was before his time, and the Kaelhai were so ignorant, were so selfish and so ignorant of the ways they were threading on, that their own schemes, probably the legends say, consumed them, and the devils rose and took them over. Their presence can be still felt today, and as you see their family name even being the first to live here with our people in the sea and them on the land, their presence was the base for the name of the sea, Kalhei Sea. So yes, this means a lot, and I can tell you where this island is right now if you want to know.
Yes, I think that would be helpful.
Please show me your map.
Hello, hello.
Ago. We're so glad to have you back.
Oh my God, I don't know
We
where
don't
I
think that you can see us.
Wait, I'm so confused. Joe goes to Joe's spot. Oh my God.
And you were speaking for a while, and
And I was speaking for a while, and I don't know where I stopped. And I will have to cut this out so badly. And I need to put paper back. Yes, there we go. Well, where did I cut off? And why does it cut off? Anyway, where was
We
I
had
cut
just gotten to the seashell, to the starfish.
off? What?
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
The prancing pony? No, that's another story.
Just gotten to the tavern.
Okay, where were
Somebody
we?
get the number of that donkey cart.
Donkey cart.
My cabbages.
Where were we? Where did I get cut off?
You were talking about the island, and the last thing I was still writing notes as you were talking, but
Alright, you know
couldn't
what?
hear
Let me
us.
start over. Cut. We're back. Hello again. Technical difficulties. So, I start over. And Tommy, so I can watch the screen with the channel on it. Please show the mark where needed. So, highlight these where needed. So the thing is that when you tell him about the Kyle High and that it's in their tower or under their tower, he tells you the story of the Kyle High Drow, who were a family of immensely powerful magic users, arcane spellcasters, who were lazy, selfish, and self-oriented, the worst of their kind that you can imagine, who bound devils into their service. They were extremely extravagant in their self-pleasuring and laziness. All the work had to be, all of their will was carried out, he says, through these devils that they have somehow bound to their will, but like armies of devils. They lived on top of the land and inside the land, on the ground, in the dark below, while our people were in the sea. These two elvish nations were the first inhabitants of this land. But soon, and this was before our version, but soon the Kyle High just went too far with their practices. And at a certain unexpected moment, the devils, and especially one devil general called Rajmahor, had a chance to revolt and take revenge of them and banish them forever. They've been destroyed by their own devilish servants, devil servants. They used to be ruling from a single large island, which was the island of the Green God, and Rajmahor's verdict. I'm going to show this. Island of the Green God and Rajmahor's Verdict together, and in between, but the island was sunk, and only the top, the highest, actually, it's not. The highest peaks of the island remained. So when the island sunk, it became two islands, the two highest peaks. One became the island of the Green God, which is covered by a very thick vegetation, which is considered by some as a sentient creature on its own. Huge green vines. And the other is Rajmahor's Verdict, where actually the palaces of the Drow were. We are not aware of the location, what tower this message from Arvenshi from the past speaks of. But if you were to look for this tower, you would need to go to Rajmahor's Verdict. That's where Arvenshi's ascension, which again, I'm not aware what sort of ascension we're talking about, and the source of this ascension is located. So thank you again for sharing this information with me. It is most important when it's to see if you give, you receive in kind. And it was worth sharing so I could help you with more information. I hope Aishli can be of the same assistance to you in your journey. And we expect you to be back as quick as possible. Keep safe. Stay safe. And
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you for
Hearing all that and doing the thank you, I lean over to Rax. That's when you know you've truly arrived. When mountains fall or oceans rise because of how powerful you are. You think we can do it one day? You think we can
absolutely.
make it?
I think we've already done it in our own special way.
Well, no, I mean literally. Okay.
Oh, like actual? You mean like actual mountains?
Actual,
right?
Like my sword cuts down like a mountain.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. No. We all die alone and without raising mountains. I don't see it.
You just said just a moment ago. You just said this was possible, and now you're running away from it.
I was being figurative. I mean, like emotional mountains, but like actual mountains. No, not me.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to Celeste making her own river one day because of you.
Yeah. Well, Celeste has her own problems. Trust me.
I want to know more about that later, but let's walk in.
Okay, so you swim out of Star Haven, and when you look back, Aishlin on your side, by your side, you look back, and the starfish just a bit, shakes itself, so all the dust and seabed.
So as we're leaving, and I imagine the first trident and the knights, Mayra is going to turn and draw her trident and pull her shield, and just slam the trident against the shield like 3 really steady beats, and then lift the trident in a salute to the knights in the first trident.
Mm-hmm. Well, they all come out and they all bow. And they even escort you for a while, not too far, a couple of miles, and then they wave goodbye and turn back, and you and Aishlin come up. Actually, they come up to the ship, right? So they all come up with you to the ship. The ship is, just on the sea. You climb on the ropes to the top. Don't forget these 2 space lifts still locked up, but it's all the ship is all good. There's a couple of seagulls, but nothing special. So and then they fly away. They already kind of felt at home, but then you guys.
All right, get back on the ship and get the silent, unseen crew going, and set the course for Xanthros, and were we? Now I got to go back and look at my notes to see exactly were we heading initially to Shatterwind and his clan, or were we heading to the main city of Xanthros?
There is only one city where, he is expecting, so Lord Rinavaram Shatterwind is expecting you at the seat of scales, which is the main city Tom is showing.
Okay, all right. So set a course for that, and
so as you emerge,
what do we do with the captives? Do we hold them indefinitely?
well,
I think we keep feeding them.
We can also bring them back to Shadowwind and turn him over. Let him deal with them.
okay. So as you emerge from this,
Oh, no, I was going to say, we should definitely make sure we're all in line with our decision regarding these slaves.
Of course.
Show of ends. Do we turn them back over to Shadowwind? Looking over at Lars. So nobody wants to...
I'm not happy about letting them go.
Right. Because of who they are, or because... Well, but they're in line with the Aboleths,
That's
which we
why.
don't believe Shadowwind is, possibly. So if we just turn them over, then we might be delivering information to the Aboleths that we don't want to deliver.
Exactly.
What sort of information? My thought is there is this Council of Scales, correct? And the Aboleths and alignment or alliance with them is probably not something that I imagine even that they would approve of.
But it's most likely compromised. If there's already one of them lords trying to attune to that thing and working with the Aboleths, then their council's likely compromised. And introducing these spell slaves might
That's a
just
leap.
give them
I think that's a leap to assume that the entire council is compromised.
not the entire council, but possibly a seat. And delivering these spell slaves that have information.
I don't know that the slaves necessarily have information. They're slaves. They are aware of the Aboleths.
Right. But they got Aboleth blood in them. That's what Aboleths do, is they get in your mind and they read it.
So, Rax, what is your suggestion of what we do with them?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just relaying information. I don't have any good ideas. They've not done me any wrong, so I feel weird about killing them. But also, if it's the right thing to do, I rely on you for moral guidance.
There's a lawful body that we can turn them over to. And
If they're property, they would be returned to their owners. And Lars spits a little bit, or the shows like a snort.
so you think that if we return them to this council, that the council will not seek to do anything other than give them back the property, that the idea of Aboleths worming their way, if you'll excuse the term, into the noble house, a noble house of Xanthros, would not cause concern?
Lars shrugs. I don't know their ways.
I think
So
it would, but it depends on who you tell. And I think it would have to be one very trustworthy source that's quite powerful that we share the information with.
Or
that
we just
also
walk into the
believe would do
council
right
and
thing with
deliver it. We walk into the council and deliver it to all.
Well, that's a bold move, isn't it?
Perhaps I'm just not as used to indirect, secretive ways of handling the ways of justice.
What does that mean?
It means exactly what I said. When it comes to something of arbitrating justice, it's a straightforward move. They're the ruling body, the legitimate authority. We have prisoners who were engaged in unsavory activity and need to be held to account.
Let me remind you, we killed their master.
Yes, we did.
Wait a minute. We killed their master because we was in danger. Self-defense.
Pretty sure he attacked first.
I mean, it looked dangerous from a distance.
It's not me you have to convince.
It's legitimately don't remember.
It was
it was one hit. All gore. Guy down.
I remember that part, but he did come after us first.
Yeah. Oh no, it was an evil cave, and it was trying to control our minds. And then we get there, and there's this fella trying to take control of a thing that controls minds.
Blame it on the cave.
Blame it on the kid. Yeah. So Lars says it's not me you have to convince.
We're going to this island to aid. We won't have to convince anyone.
Also, if we was trying to do wrong, why would we show up with a ship returning slaves with information? We're not going there saying, that. Well, I don't know. I mean, I do think there's some merit in saying, look, we will turn over this property once we have an audience with everyone. But also, we could get there and do that, and they'd be like, no, that belongs to us. You're going to jail, and that's the end of it. And then what?
We fight our way out and don't go to jail.
I like it. Well,
very heroic.
Anyway, I just don't know what we should do. I don't mind killing them, but I do think that, and I don't mind turning them over. I just want to make sure we're all in agreement, and it's not resentment that builds amongst us.
Are you feeling some resentment towards me, Rax?
No, not at all. No, I love all of you. I love all of you. But the truth is that, look, we're dealing with things that get inside your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the stronger the bond we have that's built on truth and built on good foundations, the better it's going to be.
You're here.
When things start trying to weasel their way into our thoughts, into our hearts, and try to take us over and all that, it's better that we have a strong bond. And that means decisions made by negotiating and believing in that we're doing the right thing.
So we have two options. We are not going to let them go because they have expressed no desire to turn away from their aboleth masters. So they are a danger to this world by a simple act of that. So we're not going to let them go. So our only choice is to pass judgment here, in which case we are not going to rehabilitate them. We are not going to keep them imprisoned for the next whatever length of time. So if we pass judgment on them here, they will have to be executed, so as to not bring further harm. The other option is to bring them back to their people and to let their people pass judgment. The ruling council of the only one we know who can pass judgment is the Council of Scale, as they are the collective body that represents the island of Xanthros. So as I see it, our only two options are one of those. We either pass judgment and execute ourselves, or we bring them back to their people to pass judgment.
Maybe there's a way.
Third path,
What's the third path?
releasing them to their aboleth masters.
No, that is not
some false information.
that's not an... Oh, right.
You did talk about
Yes.
that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Lars.
Thank you for that reminder. That was rather a interesting thought we'd had about.
Not a bad idea.
Instantly.
It's not a bad idea. And I do think if we take them to the island, it's important that we reach out to the one who contacted us or the one we're going to meet, and let them know, meet us at the boat, so we're not having to finagle all this other stuff and sneak people around and everything, that we can just deal directly with them about this before we do a council. But I do love the idea of delivering false
You
information.
are on a rather distinctive and I'm sure known ship that carries
Yeah.
it's got the crest of whatever noble house on it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's almost.
So as soon as we arrive, not that
It's gonna
that
be a
ne-
story.
it's going to give us easy access if they just see us returning. Since they don't know who's on board, I assume. But anyway,
We're going to see him. So let's talk about delivering them to the aboleths.
Mm-hmm.
with the information,
Right.
with some false form of information. The only thing I worry about
And
there.
will we have to explain to their masters that we did that and why? Or do we just make up a story about, oh no, we found this boat, we fought one of your own, and we escaped the island,
Yeah.
and we were sinful, and this is how we got here, and we just sort of remove the concept of these slaves from the story.
It's exactly what it is. We're not making up a story. We're just. There's no reason to include if we release them with false information.
Just throw them into the sea.
Well, I think that we can
How does
probably
that work?
come up with a better delivery method. But the first thing.
Tutorial cement block method. The old cinder block around the ankles. like we did when I was young.
So the question there is, do we want to attempt to send these prisoners to the aboleths with misdirected information? Do we truly think that that is how that will play out? Because the only intention for that was that there would somehow be another party then engaged in both conflict and distraction for Morgar and the Sahuagin.
I will say, if we do that, and we tell the slaves that we're on our way there and we can't trust them with that, so we're releasing them or whatever, however we say it. If they relay the information to the Aboleth Masters and all that gets back over to Morgar, and then we're over on the island, and then we somehow get delayed, he could get drawn away with the information much faster than we can ever get back to the Sea Elves. And then he goes, he checks it out, realizes he's been duped, and he's not going to be duped twice. So there is a timing element.
I agree with
It
Rax.
has to be in place. There's got to be a timing element. So if we're going to do that, it's almost that we don't even go to Centros. Instead, we do the information and then go right back to the Sea Elves, because you've probably got a limited amount of time. And
And we
Centros
still don't
is
have
a huge unknown.
right, and we still don't have the false information to feed about the Sahuagin location because that is
That's
only
true.
Centros. So unfortunately, while the initial idea of trying to pull the Aboleths into this and possibly cause harm to them and through, I don't see how we can kind of. There are a lot of balls in the air, and we're running out of hands to juggle them. Did I say that right, Rex? Is that a proper analogy?
Yeah, no, that's quite good. Oh, and it was an idea with incredible merit. And I think it is that we have to remember to figure out what's the story that we're going to tell to draw him away. We should have a good meaty bit of information to lure him away. And I don't yet know what that will be, other than the location of one of these orbs.
Well,
I mean, I was tempted, to be honest with you, to say the thing maybe we should do is tell him about, Gorilla Island.
no,
Because
the plan is to find out the location of the Sahuagin where they are mustering their armies and provide that as the location
as the location.
there.
Right. Got it. I'm on board. I understand. Right. Now that Mayra's gone, we're going to have some real fun.
She's back.
She's back.
If I would just know why this keeps happening.
So
All
are we
right.
all in agreement? I
So
guess that we're
spell
going to
slaves.
Santaros still.
Yeah, but
Yes,
spell slaves. I say we drop them off at the nearest island. Be rid of them. Let the
Maybe they're-
Eternal Mother decide their fates.
I don't know where it's so fun. I'm by the way, I'm looking at the where we're going through Streamlabs. So I'll like turn. I'm like, I think I'm turning towards Mayra, but she could be like over there on the
The
list.
first,
So
the
I'm
first,
not,
the first. Yeah.
I'm not-
No, the other way.
not sure
That
where
way.
she is.
I
They all look at you for confirmation already.
Would that not be like delivering them back to their masters?
It will be different. It will be different because their master is destroyed. Their unclaimed property. It can be a token of us submitting to the rule of the island, and maybe give us cover in. I lean a little bit that we should just wait and see. Justice can be delivered at any point, and corruption can be delivered at any point. There's no reason we have to play this card. We have some food.
Right.
I don't like keeping spellcasters close for this long, but I don't see a lot of other choice.
Right, and there's a distance to travel.
It's gonna be really funny if we go down in the hold and they're not there because they already busted
They're not
out.
there.
We've been saying this whole time
They've
talking
magicked
about
their
this.
way out. Yeah.
That's gonna be
There's a
hilarious.
note. Thanks for the
Thanks for all the
food.
fish.
All right, thanks for the
Yeah,
apples.
so long.
All the fish.
We decided to go back to our aboleth masters.
Enjoy cleaning up.
Okay, well, there is no decision amongst your ranks.
Yeah.
You are undecided on this issue, and here I would like to tell our kind viewers that you were the ones who, in our survey, told us and voted on having a lot of moral dilemmas in this adventure and all our adventures. So here you go. Now you can see the results, and you will have time to ponder on this when you're playing it. So the thing is that when you come up from below the sea, the weather is fantastic. The wind is just optimal. You climb up on top of the ship through these railings and whatever ropes and nets that hang on its side. There is actually no crest of Clan Physmos, but it's a quite, as you look at it again, it's a red dragon ship with all the wings and the figurehead and the tail and even the grabbing horns. As you come up from below, you can see these huge claws that can extend and hold another ship in front of the figurehead. And you climb up. Do you check on the slaves?
Yes.
Sure.
So the slaves are there. They are pretty out of food. They are pretty tired. They're quite exhausted. So your choice what to do with them, but they're there. Soon, well, I leave you with that. You will tell me what you want to do. I just want to continue that. Mara takes control on the behind the figurehead on the control panel. You use the Rod of the Unseen Crew. You mentally command these unseen servants, and all the ropes untie, and the sails come to the sides, come out on the sides, and they catch the wind, and you turn the ship, and you can take control of the token of the ship. You can move 5 hexes because the weather is as I said, most optimal. Now you see the currents, some white foamy areas. If you move on a current, you move a bit faster, one hex faster. Okay? With the current, but you can move the ship around. And Tommy, if you could please show again on the island of Santaros. I can do that. The Cedo scales, yeah. Let me show you. This is the Cedo scales.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're here. You can move. You're in this hex now, and you can move 5 hexes. And I'll do my favorite part. Roll for random encounter.
Before
say, I
we
don't
roll
see-
for a random encounter. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
No, I was just gonna say I don't see Morgar on the map. Can I see that, please?
What? The what?
Yeah, you know it's a map. I should be able to see the big baddie.
Can we not fly right towards Morgan?
Yeah.
Um,
For a day or two. Come on.
No
Before we
random-
do the random encounter,
no random.
when we get down in there where we're checking on the slaves,
Mhm.
I think Rax is going to do this and then reach into one of his pouches and pull out a handful of seeds and shake them in his hand and blow on them and drop a small pile of good berries in a bowl. 10 of them.
Ooh.
Right. Eat one of these a day, lads.
Okay, they look at you and obviously they see magic involved, but they don't know what this is. But they are too afraid to ask. One of them takes with a bit of shaky hand takes the bowl.
Don't eat them all. Don't eat them all.
Yeah, I'm
Just eat. Reach behind his ear and produce one with some sleight of hand. Just eat one. You see that? That's magic.
That's proper magic. Yeah.
I could even put it up my nose and make it come out my ear. Now eat one of these a day, lads. It'll keep you, alive.
I would like to drop these guys in there. Here you go. Just for the sake of, just showing their image.
Reminder of how torturous the heroes can be when
Yeah,
we
so
need
they're
to.
quite young, male. One of them is a half elf with these armbands. Of course, they don't have the dagger on, but wearing these red tunics or robes with the gold embroidered sigils of House Fismos, Clan Fismos, and one of them takes the bowl full of berries, and yeah, they nod. They each take one, and then as they feel its nourishing and filling effect, they turn away, and then you close the door. I guess. This is a heavy iron wall door.
Remember, you work for me now. No, I'm kidding.
All right, so
Right.
I will.
And
Yep. Go ahead.
to our knowledge, when we seal the door, like it goes to utter darkness in there, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, but they can, light if they want,
Oh, I didn't think
or
about
maybe
that.
not. You don't know. It's just
Maybe
that,
not. Yeah, they don't have the light cantrip.
now.
All right.
First day, 5 hexes, absolutely perfect weather. Which way do you go?
April,
So
what
my-
were you saying?
Yeah, so my question before we start moving hexes then, so
Also
The
look at the
question
map.
yeah, no, I'm looking at the map. So
And there is Aishlin, so maybe he can help you out with information. Oh, I put him on the map as well. He's
Okay.
one of your companions.
okay, well then pulling Eilish into the
Eilish.
discussion,
Whatever his name is.
into the discussion of I would assume we're avoiding the abysmal rift. We don't want to go right over that. So those 3 hexes, if I'm counting that right, we kind of want to stay away from there. So my thought is to go north around the abysmal rift and then catch some of those jet streams to help. Does that make sense? April's not a navigator. So we would go 1,
Oh wait, I moved these people from here. Then
2,
in the way.
3, 4.
This will bring you this one. You see the way. This one goes from here to here. So this one goes towards the rift actually.
Oh,
So if you go against it, that's 1 less. If you go with it, it's 1 plus hex.
Oh, so this one is going toward it. Okay, so if we go that way, then we wind up there. Okay, where do we start? We were right here.
Yeah, this hex, the Star Haven hex.
Okay, can we go through here?
Um,
Sure, that's the way.
I ask actually, if we're looking at the map, do you know what these caves are?
Yes, I've heard of them. They're the caves of unavoidable fate. The lair.
Well, that sounds terrible.
Oh, well, listen to this. It's the there's more. There's
Wait
more.
till you hear the rest of it.
It's the lair of a certain I don't know its name, but it's a certain green dragon oracle who lives in these caves. But I only heard stories.
You don't say.
He's supposedly famous amongst Santarosians. He's an ally or in some sort of relation with the Santarosians.
Are we gonna have problems sailing by there?
I don't think.
Okay. Then in that case, so do you see where I put the ship?
So
Does
you
that make
come
sense?
you come from the north. Well, you could go, but there's two ways. You can come from the
Well,
north, or you can come from the south.
Yeah, I came from I came through here.
Yeah, understand.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so
Regardless of how we get there. Now we're there.
yeah, no, I'm just telling you that there's beautiful mild weather, or I would say a good wind. You know, there's wind, and there's a good wind, and it brings your ship forward. And as you pass by the Emerald Back Isles, it is beautiful green lush jungles, right, on smaller, bigger islands. And as you pass by, you can go on the open sea, and it's just one day. By the next morning, you're at this location where you're at. Now, let me check my map, please, which is on this page. Alright, so, okay, so I would like to ask you, while I'm looking at stuff, to roll a d20 for weather for next day. Please let me know what the result is while I'm checking all my hidden information.
Who's rolling for weather?
Whoever wishes to.
Yeah.
I'll go for it.
Awesome.
Yay!
15.
I'm sorry?
15 for weather, but take your time.
15. All right. So, okay, and just Tom, can you look? What's the weather? It's 15. It's mild weather still, or storm? I'll need to look up something else.
15 is moderate wind.
So the same, yeah. So it's still good weather. And if you could please also roll a d20 for random encounters, and then I will give you an ending scene for today's session.
I should, or?
Yeah, whoever, please help me out because I need to.
Okay, rolling once. Boom, bam, boom, bang. 16.
16 is just one below encounter level. Alright, so what happens is you see a ship on the horizon.
It's the bards again. Hello.
There
You ever
is.
see a fiddle dance?
I have so much to prepare. 1 second. I need to find this before we run out of
There might be
time.
some ninja rap later.
That's right. I've got to say, I'm so glad that we're out of the water. I have such a terrible fear of just the deep open sea. I don't like it at all. That swim from the starfish, I was like, let's get back up. Let's get away from here. It's so bad.
I'll show you something even worse. So you see a ship with 3 masts. Do you have something to look at it closely?
Yeah. Yes.
So as you
Mater has a spyglass.
as you look into the spyglass, you see on this ship, which is quite far, you see the masts. On the top of the masts, it's huge spikes on all 3, like spears, adjusted to the top of these 3 masts that bear the sails of the ship. And on one of them flies a flag that looks just like this.
Ah.
And this is where we are going to end today's session with a massive cliffhanger. And I would like to ask you about your insights and ideas, thoughts, whatever we call it, about today's session. How do you guys
I'll go
feel
first,
about it?
if that's okay.
Sure.
I really I appreciate the time to talk as a group and to come to some major decision points. I think everything has been now we got to get here, now we got to get here, so there's almost like there's limited decision points. It's kind of like, because we need to go here, and now we need to get off this island. Okay, now we're going to inform these, or there's the clear choice of yes, we need to go tell the sea elves and help them. Of course, that's the right thing to do, and it feels right. And then we get these, and I mean, you could say we're talking about moral choices or moral decisions, but it feels like a fan of options that all are kind of angling the same direction, but are all very distinct ways of going about it. And I really appreciated the opportunity for us to just kind of hash that out as a group. You know, what works for us and where do we want to go? Because they're like 3 very, very, very different things and different camps and organizations involved, which, you know, it makes it nice and complicated, which is great. No matter what decision we make, there will be impact somewhere else from a decision we didn't make. And it's almost like you have to weigh just as much, what are we not going to do as what are we going to do? And that's a cool thing to talk about as a group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and on the flip side of that, I would like to offer up that if everyone would just listen to Mayra,
Life would be so much easier.
I know, right?
Oh, so good. Yeah.
She's like, I'm a Triton, therefore, by my very nature, you know that I know best.
We were talking about Tritons on the drive, and that's such a good, that kind of air of superiority that they have is just a fantastic element.
Yeah.
Very cool. A lot of confidence.
Yeah. Too much.
If you're gonna do it with a certainty.
That's right.
Commit.
Yeah, especially if you have a low wisdom Triton, that's problematic.
She's not that low wisdom.
I know. I wasn't talking about Mare, of course. I'm just saying, you know,
Well, I
Tritons
do.
in general.
Yeah, it flares up. It flares up with her for a little bit. She's been on the surface for a long time, and especially I think that her oath lends itself to a little bit more of trying to be self-aware at least, and give credence to other viewpoints and perspectives, and you know, like, oh, there's other ideas out there. So those two things do temper, but yeah, at heart she's a woman on a mission.
Yeah.
Which in itself is probably dangerous. And yeah, and then that Triton ancestry does lend itself to the thoughts of, but we're here to save you, so therefore, like, let us save you.
You must be saved.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I almost accidentally said slaved. All right, John, maybe?
Right.
I think the fun thing for me in the growing tension is all the loose threads. You know, there's this, there's this, there's this. We still haven't even opened up the castle. You know, all these weird things that it's like, well, you know, our party is about getting the job done, and maybe we just don't worry about a lot of stuff, which is hilarious because like the gamer side of me is like, no, we open all the doors, we check all the closets. So it's great to be in this role playing character that's like, no, we're the heroes. We get it done, and it's fun to feel that in the different moral ways that we do as a party.
Yeah. Tony?
Absolutely.
Just getting back to missed opportunities and things having, you know, consequences. So every action of ours is gonna have consequences. Let me just mention that or throw that in there. That, you know, the way we wrote it is the alternatives even, you know. So if you do that, then of course this happens. If you do that, then that happens. So that's threaded in there, and we thought about a lot of
Outcomes.
actions that the characters might take, you know.
And also,
Well,
yeah,
hopefully that doesn't mean then the three of us came along.
No.
Just set fire to the whole thing.
also I think there's been, and I'm not going to point out any of them because there would be spoilers and help and all that, but it's been very great, very good to listen to all the deductions that you guys made from, you know, from the information you received, and you know, there's always this DM part where you hear that, I hope they will come back to that idea because that's really good, and then you talk about total different stuff, and you know, you're on the track, so that's, and you are making the good deductions, and yeah, it's gonna be fun to see how it all unfolds, and I never knew which way you were coming from to this Cedar Scales location, to the Cedar Scales, but you know, I mentioned the dress stingers. Ba-ba, here they are. So next time, and I know that this episode I will, if you don't mind, name it. Rule number 1: you must always have a plan. Always have a plan.
Always have a plan.
That's the.
Of course, we've got a plan. Myra's going to tell you about it.
She knows it fully. I'm just following. This is gonna be the title of today's episode, and I hope everybody loved watching it, and that you guys will join us for the next one, because things are heating up, and we're getting closer to the big city. And I would like to ask, I would like to thanks to John and April and Joe from Twice the Dice for being with us on this journey. Please visit April's and Joe's channel. She's called Twice the Dice, where they play Crown of the Oathbreaker. And please check out elderbrain.com if you're interested in Torrents to the Spellhoarder or Crown of the Oathbreaker. Catch us on Discord. There's a lot of us there sharing maps and ideas and game logs and all that. Please also like this video and the rest of our videos, subscribe to our channel to keep track of our future sessions, and please leave a comment if you have anything to add. We will respond as soon as we can. Thank you for being with us today. Bye-bye.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Remember to rule number 1.
Always have a plan.
Never split up.
Never split the party. That's what we need to do. We'll leave you with that. Bye-bye.